Very attractive market for U.S. products in that the government of Macky Sall has implemented the Plan Senegal Emergent, which is a development plan that has been somewhat successful since its launch in 2012-2013. The growth rate before the Plan Senegal Emergent was around 3%, 3.5%, and last year, for the first time, the growth went above 6% to 6.5%. Forecasts for this year for economic growth are also similar, going to be 6.5%. And they hope to eventually get to 7%. But when you talk about Senegal, you talk not only about the Senegal itself, but also the region, ECOWAS. And the growth across ECOWAS, you take all the members, is projected to be above 7%. So Senegal is a great entry point towards not only the country here, but the sub-region overall. For the Plan Senegal Emergent, for those of you that are not aware of it, it focuses on various areas, energy being one of the bigger areas. Energy here is very expensive. They don't have resources in the country yet. They are on the horizon though. There have been some large discoveries offshore for oil and gas. And if all goes as planned, time will tell. It is potential that Senegal could become similar to another Trinidad Tobago with a gas-driven economy. But that remains to be seen in about 5 years from now. But it's a potentiality that it could turn into reality. For other developments, Senegal is working on infrastructure projects such as roads, airports. There's a deep water port just south of here in a place called Barney that they signed a concession agreement at the end of June to develop a world-class deep water port for the country. One thing I think Jude didn't quite touch on, Senegal just finished their first Millennium Challenge Corporation, MCC, compact. They just finished the compact last spring. Part of that compact was an irrigation project up north by Saint Louis, which worked on desalination. So the Senegalese River, which is the border between Senegal and Mauritania, was becoming more and more salty from the influx of the seawater, and that was affecting the rice cultivation up north. They also grow a lot of tomatoes, onions up north. MCC worked on putting in a new irrigation project that has started to reverse some of the salinization, and you're seeing increased yields up north. Also, MCC worked on roads up north and roads down south. The interesting part down south is Jude's being very humble. He didn't mention that the Foreign Agriculture Service is helping build side roads off of these main roads into farmland, which for the first time these farmers are getting access to the markets, and it's growing the overall market, and it's having very positive impacts just by having access to simple roads. MCC is considering doing a second compact with Senegal right now. It is by no means confirmed that it's going to be going ahead. It looks good, but time will tell if they're actually going to move ahead and sign on a dotted line. But they're looking at various other economic constraints to growth that they can invest in. So hopefully they'll have an announcement in October. So stay tuned for any announcements on the second compact for MCC. Other initiatives that are led by the U.S. are the Overseas Private Investment Corporation, OPIC, has recently opened an office in Abidjan, but they're increasing investments throughout West Africa. So, for example, there is a wind project up in Taiba. It's about 70 kilometers north of here. It'll be 150 megawatts of electricity that will be, right now, Senegal generates about 600 megawatts of energy on a good day. The total demand in Senegal is 2,000 megawatts. So this wind farm will be the largest wind farm in Africa, and it will be online. All 150 megawatts will be online hopefully within 3 years. There's also another 100 megawatts of solar energy planned that will be online hopefully within 2-3 years. So there are good things coming down the pike for Senegal. There's nothing happening right now, but if you were to invest with a horizon of 5 years, you'd be well positioned if you started an investment now that would be ready for operation in 5 years. Beyond the power, there's a lot of activity with USAID and their work with, for example, Feed the Future. They work with food security. They help crop insurance programs get started in Senegal. So right now, this is the rainy season, as you can tell. We have a little bit of raindrops today. The rain is not always guaranteed in this part of the world. And so when you don't get rain, there is a program that was supported by USAID that farmers actually get paid for crops that don't materialize due to drought or lack of rain. That is a new program that USAID worked on. USAID is also working with data and technology in farmers. So farmers are now, with the use of satellites, with GPS, with rain gauges, they are now determining the best time to plant, when to plant, where to plant, so their crop yields, based on the forecast for that season, are much better. So it's not, they're taking the guesswork out of farming and make it more of a science. So that is ongoing, and this year is showing increased yields where they're changing their practices and the farmers are getting increased yields. Beyond that, we also have other activities such as the Mango Alliance that was kicked off last, I think it was May. Basically, it was a host of, I think it was it 6 countries, Jude? I think it was Mali, Senegal, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, and Ghana, I think. It was they came together to form an alliance that these countries, if you consider them as a single market, they are they would be the 3rd largest market in the world after Brazil and Peru. Very powerful market. So the plan is for them to act, they signed a memorandum of understanding, and they will act together in cooperation to take advantage of things such as AGOA. AGOA, which I'm not sure you probably know about, but just to remind everybody, AGOA was renewed for 10 years last year, so it's good through 2025. And in, I think about a week or two, there'll be the AGOA Forum in Washington, D.C., that will be going forward about talking about how we can take advantage of AGOA with this now 9 years of extension with AGOA. Beyond mangoes, we also have a lot of work going on with cashews. Cashews are very prevalent in this part of the world. Just the small country of Guinea-Bissau by itself can supply about 1/4 of the world's cashews just from one country. But again, Ivory Coast had a lot of cashews. There's some cashews in the south of Senegal. So there's lots of opportunities here for people to process and to export agricultural products from the region to the U.S. But as Jude was saying, there's a lot of processing involved. You have to take care of quality, things of that nature, which can make it somewhat difficult, but it's not impossible. Beyond that, there's there's a very, very large peanut industry in Senegal, and the main company, Senegalese company, is called Sunior, and there have been talk about trying to reorganize Sunior to make it more of an efficient company. It's somewhat of a large company right now, so they're thinking about, how can we make this more competitive and reorganize. There's a U.S. company called West African Oils, which is in the peanut industry, but they send most of their products to Europe. They don't really export to the U.S. They send it to Europe. So really for Senegal, it's interesting that it's a regionally strategic country. It's part of ECOWAS, and when Senegal promotes itself in Europe, they have advertisements that say, "Come to Senegal, you can access a market of 200 million people." Well, Senegal is only 13 million people, so they're talking about ECOWAS as a whole, including Nigeria. You can come here. This is the closest place to the U.S. You'll soon have a new deepwater port. They're working on a new airport. They're trying to become a transportation logistical hub that you can come here, utilize the new roads they're building to have get your products access throughout the region. So a lot of people from America don't realize how close Senegal is to the U.S. And it's close not only from a geographical standpoint, but it's a very close relationship politically, economically, commercially, and it's growing every day. I've been in country about 15 months, and each month, as Yohanidou can attest, we get busier and busier with more and more companies, American companies that want to come here, more trade between Senegal and the U.S., and just much more interest in West Africa. I think I commend the American companies for coming here. I think you'll have your eyes opened, and you'll learn things that would surprise you and would be make you glad that you made the trip. I hope you come back again soon, and we're always here at the U.S. Embassy to help with any questions or issues you might have. Again, my name is Jonathan Scott, and Yohanidou is our specialist in the back. So please, if you have any questions, you can either reach me through Jude, or I didn't bring any cards, unfortunately, but I can leave my contact if anybody wants to touch base with us later. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. So last speaker for this panel, Mr. Mike Martin, Director for Sales.